Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and you're very welcome back to the channel because I'm stepping away from budget knives and I'm going into a custom knife. And I am so happy to tell you that, again, one of my little goals for this year was to get knives from two new UK makers. Well, here's the first one. I've never had any of his knives before, never held one before, except I did have a quick look at them when I was at SHOT Show, and I spoke to Matt. Matt Selfe he's called, and Selfe is spelled S-E-L-F-E, so Matt Selfe. I believe Matt is a part-time, maybe not completely full-time. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll find that out shortly because he has agreed to come on to the podcast soon, within the next few weeks, hopefully. But it'll be great to speak to him in person on the podcast. I did have a chat with him, really nice fella at Sharp Show, or SHOT Show. What did I go to? I can't remember. Sharp Show? Yeah, I think it's Sharp Show. No idea. Anyway, the one in the UK. I spoke to him there very briefly, but he was a real gentleman, took time to speak, and I thank him for that. So I approached him last week and I said, Matt, how you doing? I explained that I'm trying to promote British custom makers, and I said, I'd like to buy one of your knives. And I explained to him, I can't afford full price. Can you give me a bit of discount? And for that discount, I will give you a review on what I think of the knives. And he said, yes, I'd be happy to do that. He had a little bit of think about it, went back, watched a couple of the videos, and somehow still let me have a go at this. But I am so appreciative. I'm just going to say it out loud, and we'll talk about this when I do the full review. This is more just a look at the knife. This on his site was £240, and he kindly gave it to me for £200, which was my birthday money that the kind people on the Slip Joint Sanitarium donated cups of tea for on my birthday, and I can't thank him enough. It actually blew me away completely, and I didn't find words, and I still can't, that so many people would put in so much and get me a lovely knife for my birthday. So again, big thank you to them. They funded this knife, and this knife therefore is a keeper forever. So let's go in. We'll talk a little bit about Matt, and let's see what he makes. So first of all, he sent me a great sticker. Look at that sticker. Sexy knives for sexy people, and it's got self-made knives down underneath it. The man knows me inside out. I also got self-made knives, a couple of little small stickers. And I got a lovely little sort of challenge coin in brass. It says Mementos Mori, M-O-R-I, I think. I'm sure that does mean something, and I should know it because it's a skull and crossbones. And there we are, self-made knives in a Gallic pattern. Love it. Absolutely love it. So that's nice. Little bonuses. I don't know whether they come with all his knives, but I'm really, really pleased to get them. And this is Matt's card. Self-made knives at gmail.com. Self-made knives on Instagram. And there are www.selfmadeknives.co.uk. And pop over there and see them. Maker of high-end kitchen and outdoor knives. And this is the bit that I really want to quiz him at. I think he's not long into, because on his website, on his Instagram or whatever, his pictures, he only has a few models of slip joints. So I believe that this is his, the early part of his foyer into slip joints. This is the knife I got. Comes with this lovely little card. It's just his card, but has this nice little bit in the back that tells me about the knife. The knife model is the Arrondi. It's RWL 34, which, if you're not too sure, is somewhere near the equivalent of CPM 154. So it's a powdered steel. It maybe doesn't have the edge retention of the CPM 154, but not that much difference, and definitely not in a pocket knife. The nice thing about it, it gets a really great luster when you polish it. Now, I haven't found that out myself yet. I just read the book. So, but I will find out. And it's got brass liners, brass pins, and there we go. The date, the 20th of the 1st, 25. I think that's when I bought it. But lovely. So I got all the information I know. This is just super. I love the little pouch. And I know people say, oh, it's just adding money on. I don't care. This just makes this knife special. If I want to take it anywhere, it's going in this, you can be sure. Just a beautiful way to carry a knife, especially a custom. Now, again, I use all my customs, well, bar one, but I use my customs, and that's important to me that these knives are in use. So it's a lovely, nicely padded inside there, lovely slip. I'll put this up here just so as we can keep his name in our mind. So it's Self-Made Knives. There you go. So this is it, the Arrondi. You can see the brass bolsters. My second or third brass bolster knife. I really wasn't a fan until Ashley Harrison forced me into it. Another custom knife maker, which I have great esteem for. So fit and finish. Let's have a look at the fit and finish. The back spring is pretty good. It is pretty good. Really pretty good. The termination, beautifully done in the back. The blade is right up the centre. Nice stock thickness, not too thick, but just enough. And it's the blade shape that drew me to this knife. I love, this is a trapper pattern, a typical trapper pattern handle. All right, a bit more curvy than most. I love that about it. And this is the blade. You have a nail nick here. You don't need it because this has, I would say, about close to a 7. Close to a 7 when you're pulling it just by hand. With a nail nick, yeah, you would probably say 7. 6.5, 7 anyway. Lovely lockup. Bit softer there, but I haven't put any oil or anything in this yet, so we'll find out later on what that's like. But beautiful walk and talk. A bit, it's not mushy, it's solid, but a bit quieter on the return. And just beautifully done, and go straight down into the middle again. Just really, really enjoy that. But the blade shape, look at this blade shape. It reminds me of now I'll maybe go back a wee bit here, like of a Bob Lum type of shape. There was another one, I think Kaiser made one, was it the Nightshade or something? They made one with that curved handle, and this is canted down, as you can see. So when you're holding it, it's ready for work. You don't have to go up high. It's ready. You can get that belly down without moving your hand if you want to slice. It's a high flat grind, which is going to make this a beautiful slicer. Hand rub satin blade. I just think it is beautiful. And then there you have SMK, Self-Made Knives, made in the UK. I think that is beautiful. I'd always prefer stamped, but that is done incredibly well. It's high enough up that it's not going to really get damaged with me cutting things. So it's etched, and it's a good etch, I have to say. I really like it. On the other side, you have RWL 34. Now, this is just for me. I love when they put the blade, the blade type on the handle on the blade, because it's all right now, but in a year's time, in 2 years' time, when I take this out and I'm going to talk about it, I'll have forgotten what the blade steel is. I've that many different knives, I forget them. So having it on there is lovely, but I would reduce that down to a tiny wee bit in the bottom corner here, or at the top, whatever you like. But I really would. For me, personally, I don't know what you think of it. And these are the sort of things, if you're in and you're watching this video, write these things down in the comments, because I'll let Matt know just what people feel about it. Because if you haven't seen his knives, I just think that's too big and bold, whereas that's just beautifully done, cosmetically just gorgeous. I would just reduce that way down and have the RWL 34 very, very lightly etched on there, if that's the way you're going to do it. But other than that, I think the blade shield, the blade shape is just stunning. I love a fat spear, as you know, and I'll show you some other knives that I like. This blade to handle ratio is pretty good. It's a little bit of a shorter blade than maybe most people would like, but not me. I think it's absolutely perfect. I really do. I just think this is lovely. I have a large hand. Now this will fit any size from a large down. I have a large hand. I can get on that. I'm using all this up there, but look where I am to the cutting edge for fine work. That is just beautiful. I don't have to sneak up on choils. It's there on a full 4-finger grip. Really, really lovely and it's got a nice detent on it. You know what I mean? So You've no worries about it. And if you do push it a little bit hard, and here's the secret, because it doesn't have a big ricasso here, you've got a larger part of it down in here. So if it was to bump close, look at that. Look how far away that is from my finger. It might give you a nip, but it's not going to do much more than give you a nip. So there you go. I enjoy that. I enjoy that because you have to think these things when you're making knives. He has got the hand rub satin, which I think he's done a fantastic job. You know, maybe he's done it with the kitchen knives before, but I just think it's just a fantastic job that he's made of that hand ground or hand sanded, hand whatever you call it. You know what I'm like. You know what I'm like. But overall, I just think it looks nearly proportionate, but enough that it's not disproportionate too much, because it looks great when it's in my hand. It looks the perfect size. And I really, really love this. The micarta is beautifully done. The pins are beautiful. There's no transition feeling between any of the materials. They all just seem to cover up beautifully. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to using this because of the blade shape. I love this type of blade shape that I'm going to use it. Now, I will tell you that it's not perfect. And I mean, very few custom knives come completely perfect because of the simple nature of one man making a knife from start to finish. There is little blemishes that are going to be on most custom knives. Not all, but most. Because it's not an easy art form. This is something that you take years to learn and master the skill of making a knife by hand. This is a bit uneven. You know, it's quite noticeable. It is quite uneven, these two. You know, at the price range, I wouldn't really want to see that on another one. You can see at the back there, again, uneven. Does it affect this knife at all? Absolutely not. Because the one thing I want to tell you, this knife, when it's locked up, I can't muscle a movement in it. It is so solid. Absolutely perfect. Really solid. Is it sharp out of the box? I haven't touched this. Wow, that is just... Is that tip? No, it's just my cutting. You have to turn around that. It's right sharp to the tip and beautifully sharpened. You can see the grind on it. Very, very even. Sharpened beautifully. I love that. I love it when a knife comes sharp. Isn't that the stupidest thing we have to say? That some knives come blunt and people wonder why we say things about them. But yeah, I absolutely love the shape of it. I think I would maybe this here, I would like up on the curve here, having a thinner, just in case people want to use it, but you could sort of blend it in more up on there and it would give you more of that pinch pull, but it really is lovely. It'll catch your thumb. It's really well put in. You can get your nail into it easily. Just perfect. Perfect. Really, really enjoy. And look, you have to remember, these are just my opinions. The rest of the world might think something completely different. Another small thing, the hafting, there's a couple of gaps, going down here. It's a bit raised. It's a bit lowered here, actually, so you can catch, you can see, I can catch my thumb there. This really is just sort of easily things that, the more and more you're going to be doing this, the hafting will get better. Just a couple of wee tiny places on it. Nothing. Again, there's another wee one there where it just seems to be the brass is a bit indented, but not damaged. I am being ultra critical, and let me tell you why I'm being ultra critical on a box opening. The first condition that Matt said to me when I asked him for a bit of discount so that I could have the knife on and give him a bit of exposure, he says, I don't mind you having it, but I want a completely honest, unbiased review. And he was adamant that that's the way I had to review it, because I don't tend to do bad reviews. And the reason I don't do bad reviews is that it's not my business. I don't have any qualifications to let me judge another man's work. I don't have that skill. I don't have that knowledge. I know what I like. I know what things that I don't like to see, But that's all it is. It's not even educated. It's just 8 years in YouTube and a few years collecting beforehand. I've seen lots, hundreds and hundreds of knives. That does not make me an expert. That just gives my opinion. It doesn't give it anything else. But he wanted me to do a really truthful review on his knife. Now that means the world to me. For him to be so insistent, and believe you, he was, because I said, look, I'm not here to run your knife down. He didn't want to be run down. He just wanted to point out the things. At that price of 240, them couple of little things, you know, the unevenness there and there, I don't particularly like it, because I notice it straight away. Is it one of the things I look for? Possibly. The back springs, I really do like a tight back spring, as in I don't like to see gaps or risen or lower. And I'm sure Hafton would finish that. Just a little bit more on the Hafton would just cure that, no problem. Is this knife going back to him? Absolutely not. This knife is really gorgeous, really gorgeous. Now, and one more little thing, if you can see the pins. There is a little gap round by the pins, and I have to say these bolsters were not incredibly polished, shall we say. Now, I will have a go at taking this out myself. It's on both sides. You can see both the pins. Let me just see if you can see that here. Yeah, there's a pin there. Tiny little gaps around it, but I'll see if I can buff this out myself. Doesn't bother me in the slightest, because I will not keep it polished, because I just use my knives, and I don't see the point of continually buffing a bit of brass. Let it go. Let the natural patina come. That's my philosophy. The RWL won't stain, but everything else, this will get dirty. This will get, you know, a patina. I'm happy for that. But honestly, Matt, I'll give you my honest opinion. I think this is a fantastic knife. I think you've hit on a really nice shape for your knife. You've gone on, I don't know one like this, but it is just gorgeous. And it goes into I love blades that are a little bit different. It's very hard to invent anything new in knives anymore, because it's nearly all been done. But I get something like this and I think, yeah, that's different. That's a paddy knife. And this is a paddy knife. I just adore it. And we'll talk more about the price and whatever I think. You know, do I think he's way overpriced? I think until he has perfected a couple of these things that I can see on this, and bearing in mind, he knew it was coming to me and he knew I was going to review it. So a couple of little things need tidied up for that sort of price range for me. But on the whole, I am absolutely dying. This is going in my pocket, and it will stay in my pocket for a right few days, for the initial feel, before I come back and do a video on it, on the genuine feel of the knife. And I want to have my video done before I get him on the podcast. So it'll be within probably the next couple of weeks, the video will come up on this and what I think of it as a knife in use. But so far, honestly, Matt, just incredibly good. I don't know how long you've been doing slip joints, but I mean, it takes years to get to this standard. So if you've done it in less than, 5 years, which the boys sort of do their apprenticeships for, that's some going. You've got some great talent. And he does some beautiful little chef knives. Another knife I want to get off him later on this year, when I can afford it, I will get one of his little paring knives, his chef's paring knives. They are exquisite, and they're about 140, 150 pound, somewhere in that price. Don't hold me to prices, and they are just gorgeous, handmade. Beautiful. So that's another thing that you can check on his site. So what sort of things have I got that can sort of not match it, because they're all different? Here's one of my favorite working knives. This one here is the Dean Robertson custom knife. And again, I like the different blade shapes. There are two blade shapes that you don't see. This is a Dino pattern, and this is the Arrondi. Not exactly the same, but look at the difference. There's the handle on that one, which, the blade cutting edge is about the same, but look at the difference in length. This is beautifully done, but so is this. I can get all 4 fingers in this and all 4 in this. So just really beautiful. So there's one that we can compare it to of mine. Here's another one which has that upturned belly and the shorter blade. I just think that is beautiful. This is MDK. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This is Michael Duplessis, sorry. Michael Duplessis knives. His hand rub satin is just immaculate. Immaculate. Beautiful. Beautiful done. And I like the difference between the handmade and the shiny flats. That really does stand it out, makes it stand out. And I love this blade shape. But this was over £300, I think, when I got this. And this had a problem as well, as people will know. So they don't all come perfect. But as long as it's as close as they can, or I would expect to expect it. Now, here is my favourite working knife of all. This is this one. And you can see, this is, oh, God bless us. There we go. Let me just get it straight. Sorry about that. This is the Ashley Harrison. Again, you have that same shape, that trapper handle shape, with a bigger blade on this one. Big fat blade, almost as fat as that. In fact, let's put them down. Yeah, they're almost the same depth at their widest part. This is a spade blade. This is my user. You can see it. Ashley Harrison, custom maker. Beautiful fit and finish on his knives. Just beautiful. The cut off, everything about it. And these are, a fair bit down the line from this one. This is black bog oak. So, it's 01 tool steel, which, again, absolutely fine for a pocket knife. But it really is, and that's more, we'll talk about this sort of, the price range at the later date. Look, I don't want to make a big deal of this because it's not a big deal, but it's just something that has to go with knives when you buy them. For me, it has to be value. Over here, the custom makers, God love them, they work every bit as hard, but they don't get the prices you get in America. It's a much bigger company with a bigger option of people all cramming in for a small selection of custom makers for such a big company. We don't have this. People are not used to custom knives over here. It took me years to get into them. Now I absolutely love them. And I'm really pushing, although these two aren't UK makers, I'm really pushing UK makers and just enjoying the fact that I can get to share in what must be his joy in a beautiful, beautiful knife. So there you go. Matt, thank you very, very much. I'll use this for probably 10 days, up to 10 days off and on, probably for the next 3 or 4 days, definitely. And then off and on for the next, and then I'll do a review on the knife and what I think of it, and its sole purpose is to cut, how it cut, what it cuts, and how it cuts like. So that will all be to come. Thank you so much. I did give the price out and I did give the discount because I wanted to be upfront and to say that this is what I paid for this knife. I didn't want somebody to think that I got this for 50 quid and, I had a big, I have nothing that Matt wants to owe me for. Nothing. He just said, I'll give it to you, but do the review. That's my review. I think on first impressions, fabulous knife. I pointed out a couple of things that I would change. I'll see what I feel after I use it, and I'll come back and give you an honest review. But things are looking good for Matt. It really is. Things are looking good. The fella has some really high-class finishing. I enjoyed it. Small little things, but they'll make all the difference in the price you can charge for knives. All right, take care. Paddy's away. I hope you enjoyed this. Little bit long for a first impressions? I don't think so. I think, it was nice just to see his knife and to see a new pattern that I have not really used much. I was never really a fan of Bob Lum's knives, but I'm getting there. I mean, a lot of things just come in time. And what I started off collecting is not what I collect now. These different patterns designed, you just grow to like them. And this is just lovely in my hand. So, bye-bye. Take care. Please like, subscribe and comment. It means the world to me. None of them cost you any money. If you've got extra money and you wouldn't mind helping the channel, go down below, buy a little cup of tea. Whatever you want to put in. Doesn't matter what you want to put in. A little cup of tea for the channel, and I can buy more knives like this. Take care. Bye-bye now.